Alright, ladies and gents, I am now here with my kind of opinion-based video on Skyrim's new Creation Club. If you didn't see, I made a video overviewing every single mod in Creation Club. Yes, I bought them all. I'm a devil. I'm supporting the program. No, the reason I do those videos is because I think it's a useful resource for people that are maybe curious. Maybe they don't know if they want to buy this specific mod or not. So I make that video showing off every single mod so you could be informed. I purposely don't include opinions in that video or try to minimize them as much as possible. If something's particularly dog shit, then I might kind of slip out there. So I'd highly recommend you watch that one before watching this one, but you can do whatever you want. So what do I think? Well, overall, just the programs as a whole, comparing it to Fallout 4, Skyrim's is definitely a little bit higher quality. That in a number of facets. One, just the actual release was a bit smoother. You don't download everything anymore. So like in Fallout 4, even if you weren't participating in Creation Club, you downloaded everything as an update. Your load order is no longer scrambled like it was with Fallout 4. Just some of those miscellaneous bugs are totally absent here. Even further, they actually reduced the price of the survival mode, which seems like it was in response to criticism. In the kind of beta, it was $8 or 800 points, but now it actually is reduced to $5 or about 500 points. I guess it's 500 points about $5, but whatever. So that's pretty cool. It seems like we actually do have a voice of some sort. So now getting a little bit more specific, let's start with survival mode. This is the one that I've actually made standalone videos on and stuff like that. But one of the big issues I have here with survival is I think it has so much potential. I think someone made a bad decision here to cut it off a little bit too short. I don't know if that was the mod author or Bethesda themselves. This is one of the things made by a mod author from the community that Bethesda is contracting. We always thought it was Chesco, but apparently now it's not because it's like labeled as QDR. But regardless, again, the big issue I have is the features it brings to the table are really nice. Everything it's doing is pretty high quality. I would even argue it's higher quality than that of Frostfall or I Need. The problem is, for me at least, those features aren't nearly enough for the $5 it does cost. It should have more. It should be adding in custom items ranging from maybe a few miscellaneous survival style armors, backpacks, camping materials, and even further with some of the needs that are introduced, you should have on-screen icons for these, similar to what we have through mods for Fallout 4. I'm happy they reduced the price, but still at $5, I don't think it's worth it. But I would actually say survival mode, more so than anything else, is one I want to see get updated because I think it has a lot of potential to succeed. The fact that this was made with Bethesda and just naturally integrated into the game rather than a mod that had to use workarounds really shows here. And I think if they just flesh it out, a lot more people will buy it and be happy with it. But again, we don't actually know if Creation Club content can get updates like that, so I highly doubt it can, but maybe it will in the future, who knows. So we had the sword Chrysamere. This one was kind of interesting because it was a pain in the ass to get. You had to go through this dungeon and fight a ton of extremely high level enemies. Like, it took me about 35 minutes in real life, which ironically, this was the first mod I decided to do, so I was like, holy shit, is everything gonna be like this? Unfortunately, you quickly realize everything is not like this, and although the sword there is pretty basic, I really enjoyed the fact that it was a difficult, I guess just a challenge to get it. It felt rewarding when I finally got the sword. Unfortunately, the reward was pretty lackluster. Now on the flip side, the Knights of the Nine armor and weapons were really high quality. The visuals on these, I wouldn't describe them as jaw-dropping, but there's definitely some quality there. I could see some people spending money for these. You get 2 armor sets as well as a shield that goes on your back, and a sword and mace. It's probably one of the most feature-rich things in Creation Club right now. I filmed that mod right after getting Chrysamere, and I was like, oh cool, so there's gonna probably be a big quest to get these expensive and bulky pieces of armor. Nope, you just walk up and kill 2 bandits. I just literally like want to slap myself in the face, like, what are you doing, Bethesda? Switch them. Give the bandit the crappy claymore that is like $2 or $3, and give the super long convoluted dungeon with high level enemies the $5 armor pack. The zombies is overpriced dog shit. That's it. I'm not gonna talk anymore about the zombies because it's stupid, it had a lot of potential, and they totally missed the ball with that one. So then we have the Stendarr's hammer. This one could have been really cool, but Stendarr's hammer and the staff of Sheogorath, I'm again probably pronouncing those wrong, but you know what, that is a-okay. My big problem with both of these weapons is that their enchantments were changed. If you guys don't know, the staff of Sheogorath in one of the older Elder Scrolls games would just freeze time across the board, so you'd basically be able to walk around and see all of your frozen enemies. In Creation Club, it's just going to paralyze certain enemies, so they'll just fall over, but everything will still be moving forward. I don't understand why they made this decision. Even further, it used to have sound effects and those were also removed, which, like, why? It says stop and release, but in a kind of deep demonic voice, and I don't know, that sounded pretty cool to me. Instead, now you trigger this staff and everyone just falls over. Yeah, that's cool. That's worth my $3. The same thing happened with the hammer. The hammer's old enchantment was each consecutive swing would decrease your stamina increasingly, but at the same time, it would do increasing damage. So if you had high stamina or you're popping a bunch of stamina potions, you could really beat down some tanky enemies because you would just progressively do more and more damage. In Creation Club, these are switched to static values. use. Now it's just a flat damage and a flat decrease to stamina, which, like, why do that? That old one sounded so cool. One thing that's definitely present here that wasn't as present in Fallout 4 is just the reuse of content that is from DLCs and just older Elder Scrolls games. Most of the stuff is from those older games, and personally, I'm not really well versed in Elder Scrolls lore or haven't played any of the other games before Skyrim, so for obvious reasons it didn't bother me. But if you are someone that's been playing the Elder Scrolls games for a while, I could see this being a little bit obnoxious to you. You're rebuying content that you've already paid for. Some of the stuff is even from existing DLC, which I could really see as a slap in the face. But again, it didn't really bother me because it's my first time getting this, and all these custom enchantments and all that are totally unique. Ruin's Edge kind of fell in the middle somewhere. I mean, it was a cool arrow. Basically, as you fire it, it will have a random enchantment. I don't think there's a big downside to this one. The quest to get it was fairly basic, but again, we kind of come to expect that. And I think this one, again, falls into the middle. It has a cool enchantment that is pretty unique, as well as the bow itself is pretty unique. So if you're into it, I would buy it. Then we have the Arcane Packs. These are actually my two favorite things, and they're the cheapest, which will probably make them the most highly bought, especially for PS4 users. If you're a PS4 user right now, I would buy the smallest pack and actually get both of these Arcane Packs because they're really freaking cool, and they'll have a few points left over, so then I would also get Ruin's Edge or something. But yeah, basically what one does is add in a bunch of new spells. A lot of these are fairly basic, but some of them are pretty unique and cool, and there's quite a few different spells here. It also adds in some robes, which one thing I forgot to mention in my original video, but this is going to deposit those robes into your inventory when you spawn. It also deposits a few arrows from the Arcane Arrow pack. I hate this. I think it's stupid. When you start a new game and you get content from your DLC deposited into your inventory, it is overpowered. Even though they have fairly basic stats, it's still overpowered because it's better than what you have right off the bat. There's no challenge to get it. I don't understand why Bethesda is doing this, and I think it's a horrible decision. Like, I would literally start a new game and just drop all the stuff instantly, because just work your way up to it, earn it, do the quest to get them. The Arcane Arrow pack is probably my favorite across the board out of everything in this. Survival mode's also pretty cool, but it feels pretty incomplete. It adds in a bunch of cool new arrows, especially those telekinesis arrows where you fire them, they stay in place, then you have to release them with a shout. And although it has two really basic quests, like you literally just go pick up the things, it actually has two quests. They're in the same location, they're both in the College of Winterhold. But I don't know, I just kind of like the gesture. And all the other elemental arrows are really nice. I like how the quivers are distinctively unique. It's not like, oh, this is really similar to the vanilla one. No, this is totally custom. It looks different. And the arrows themselves are powerful. It's something you could use even as a high-end character, especially those bone arrows. I was really impressed by this, and I think the pricing and the content added is really good. The big problem with these is the free mods are going to bring this stuff to the table. A lot of it has a ton of overlap. So if you end up buying a pack of points, or you want to spend some of your free points or leftover points, these are the two things I would get. But again, if you are just going to buy points to buy them, I probably wouldn't do that unless you're on PS4. So as a kind of a concluding statement, I'm still reserving my judgment on Creation Club. What we got right here is ranging from dog shit to actually pretty decent. Skyrim's Creation Club release was without a doubt a huge improvement over Fallout 4's. I think one of the big reasons for that is Skyrim has magic and enchantments. Fallout 4 has the legendary system, but just some of the unique abilities that they were able to give items, weapons, armors in Skyrim does allow it to have a little bit of an extra level of coolness. In Fallout 4, a gun is going to shoot a bullet. It really requires a lot more work to make that unique or custom when compared to Skyrim. Just slap on this cool enchantment and it's instantly more unique. With that being said, again, a lot of this stuff is pretty crappy, overpriced, and does have free alternatives. If you are somebody who wants to see Creation Club succeed, though, this definitely is a step in the right direction, but more of like a small step, maybe like a baby step in the right direction, like one of those little toddlers taking their first step, that amount in the right direction. But then they fall over right after and go back to crawling for a while until they take their next full step. And just one last thing, I know a lot of you guys really kind of give me shit for supporting Creation Club. I'm not a Creation Club supporter. I want to see good stuff come out of the program, and honestly, if we look at the stuff we have right now, if you play Fallout 4 and Skyrim, I know I have a bigger Fallout 4 audience, the stuff we got from mod authors continues to be the best. So to conclude this video, here is my message to Bethesda. At this point in time, I've given you $50 for Creation Club content largely made by you guys. Stop. I'm tired of it. It's crap. The quality just isn't there for the amount of money I'm spending. Maybe you're trying to milk PS4 and Xbox One users, but there is an audience on PC that will buy paid mods. You can call it whatever you want. I'm going to call it paid mods. The key component you're missing here is quality paid mods. And even beyond all that, Bethesda, look at what's working in the program. The highest quality content for both Fallout 4 and Skyrim has come from mod authors. That being the backpack for Fallout 4, the furniture pack, the shotgun, and then for Skyrim, the survival mode and the Knights of the Nine armors. If you look at those mods intrinsically, pretend there are no free mods, those are probably some of the most lucrative downloads in the program as a whole, and they're not done by you. Start inducting more mod authors. Give more people in the community an opportunity opportunity to prove their talents and make quality content that's worth the money. I don't want to be resold stuff from previous Elder Scrolls DLCs or things from other games that you also publish, like the Doom armors. I bought Fallout 3. I bought the Hellfire Power armor that time around. I don't need to buy it again when there's already a free alternative. I'm tired of that shit, and if it continues, I really think this is just going to continue to amp up and people will boycott this program further. There's potential for cool paid mods. I'll probably get a lot of hate for saying that, but I truly believe that. Look at things like the Watts laser rifle for Fallout 4. You put a $4 price tag on that and people will gladly pay it. Not everyone, but some people definitely will. That's pretty much it for this one. There's a discussion going on Reddit. It's actually based around the video I posted, so if you guys are interested, I'll leave that down below, as well as I'll put it in like a comment. Hopefully you enjoyed. As always, I thank you again for watching, and I hope to see you all next time. Later.